Troubleshooting IPv6 access lists. IPv6 access lists are almost identical to the IPv4 counterparts, just of course beyond the bigger addresses, bigger subnet masks, and so on. So I'd like to talk primarily about the differences as we do the access list flyby and give you a setup of this, because again, I find when I'm working with most technicians, dealing with IP version 6 in general is just more foreign because obviously the world is still IP version 4 for the vast majority. So, access lists are, again, looking just like IP version 4. We can deny specific hosts. We can deny specific subnets by using the bit notation of the subnet mask, the CIDR notation. And the list goes on and on and on. At the bottom of the access list, we have a slight difference, and that is there is an implicit permit. ICMP neighbor discovery. That's a new one for most people because remember, when we are working with our routers, a lot of times we aren't thinking about the fact that these guys provide a lot of key services dealing with neighbor discoveries, allowing the host to auto assign their addresses, allowing them to locate their default gateway. And if we have an access list without thinking about that, most people want to permit the neighbor discovery. Cisco said, you know what, let us help you out. We're going to make that an implicit permit that you don't see. It's another invisible one. You can deny it by putting a line right above it saying I want to deny it, but most of the time that's a feature you want to keep on. Of course, below that is the implicit deny all we're normally used to. Other difference is IP version 6 only supports named extended access lists. Right? There's no more access list 53 for a standard, 153 for an extended. There is no standard access list in the IP version 6 world, only extended. So let's set them up. I'm going to bring GNS3 up, and I'm just using the same topology that I did for the IP version 4 access list. Actually, I haven't even updated the subnets. We'll kind of transform those on the fly when we set this up. I'm going to go over to the router, and let's get him configured first, right? I'm going to configure it from scratch, again, just because IP version 6 is foreign to a lot of folk. So, do a quick show IP interface brief. I haven't configured anything on this router yet. So we'll go in. The top subnet was 10.1.1.0/24. So let's go into, let's do IPv6 unicast routing, first of all. Into fast Ethernet 0/0, and we'll do IPv6 address 2001:1:1:1/64, right? No shut, and we'll go into fast Ethernet 0/1, do the same kind of thing, 2001, but this time, unlike 10.2.2.0, we'll do 2001:2:2:1. So we've got these nice big subnets that are assigned there. I forgot to shut that or power that one up. So now I'll come back here and do a show IPv6 interface brief. Should see those addresses assigned there, and we see the link local addresses automatically generate for each one of those interfaces as well. Do a show IPv6 interface, fast Ethernet 0/1, just to glance at that. You can see it joining the correct multicast group, so it can reply to essentially what used to be ARP messages for its addresses that we have here, 2001:221, as well as the link local as well. Okay, let's get these PCs configured. I'm going to jump over to PC1 up top, and these are the virtual PC simulators. I'll do IP, I think we just do 2001:1:1:50/64, and then the default gateway 2001:1:1:1. Right, there we go. So that's the top one up here. Was .50 in the IP version 4 world. Let's just ping 2001:1:1:1. Ping away. Woohoo. So we've got connectivity there. Let's hop down to PC2. IP address will be 2001:2:2:50 50, colon 50 slash 64, and then 2001 colon 2 colon 2 colon 1. I will get used to IPv6 addressing. It's coming much faster to me now than it used to years ago. So I'll ping that default gateway. I'm getting there. Let's just ping all the way through, right? 2001 colon 2 colon 2, no, 1 colon 50. Ping the PC over on the other side. Good. We are getting through. Now let's get into the access list. I'll bring our topology back up so we can see it and get our interfaces in order. And let's go over to router 1. Okay. So command to configure an IPv6 access list is IPv6 access list. Woohoo! There is no access list command without the IPv6 in front of it, because that's all the numbered access lists that we are used to in the IPv4 world. So we'll have the ability to just go straight in and identify the name. There's no standard or extended, because the only thing you can create is extended. So let's go sub 1, because I'll just call it from subnet 1 up there, right? And now I can just do my permit and deny command. So I can do, let's do deny. We'll do IPv6. We have our typical TCP UDP port numbers that we can do. Now the port numbers don't change in the IPv6 world, just the IP addresses, right? So we'll say deny IPv6 from the host. We can do 2001 colon 1 colon 1 colon 50, right? That's going to be this guy right here, and we'll deny him from reaching this guy, but he should be permitted to reach, we'll just say, the router interface right there, so we can test to make sure the access list is working. So we'll say we'll go from that host to let's leave the host keyword off. So we'll go 2001 colon 2 colon 2 colon 50. But then we got to do the /128, which is essentially the equivalent of the host command. Okay, good. Then we'll do a permit IPv6 any. It's not too bad, right? I mean, we can even squeeze in a line that would be sequence 10 and 20. So let's do sequence 15, and we'll do a deny IPv6, and we'll go from 2001 colon 1 colon 1 colon /64 all the way through 2001 or 2001 colon 2 colon 2 colon /64 there as well. So we're denying then one subnet to another. So back out, I'll do a show IPv6 access list, and I can see this one looks pretty good. You see sequence 10 denying this host to this host, denying this subnet to this subnet. Although it's not going to be too fruitful when I'm trying to ping to the other side, but you can see just kind of the different syntax that we can use. Now applying it is a little bit different, just different command. Interface fast ethernet 0/0 IPv6. Instead of having the access group command, it's now called access or traffic filter, right? So I can do traffic filter, and I'll forget what that name was. It was sub 1, right? Sub 1. There we go. Sub 1, and then we have the same direction, inbound or outbound. So be the router, hit the enter key, and do a let's try the ping. So we'll go back here to PC1 up top, do that same ping command again. Oh, it's like it didn't work. Well, I'm pinging my default gateway. Hang on, let's go ping to 250. Oh, colon 50. There we go. Communication administratively permitted or prohibited. Hit the show IPv6 access, and we see we're getting matches on that first statement. Let's see if I can hit the up arrow and go to the default gateway on the other side. Also prohibited. I'm seeing matches now on this second statement, denying this whole subnet to this whole subnet. I'm seeing some other permits here, and that's probably just the ICMP traffic that's going on between the host and the router that's matching that permit statement. But essentially, anything going between these two subnets ends up being denied. Well, what can go wrong in the IPv6 world? Virtually identical to the IPv4 world. Traffic lists could be applied in the wrong direction using the traffic filter command or just not understanding the logic of it. You might have forgotten the implicit deny set at the bottom. And I mentioned manually add that in there, but remember, you got to be careful on that ICMP neighbor discovery, right? Now, I just mentioned that it now includes that. Well, if you manually add the implicit deny, then that will overrule the implicit permit on ICMP neighbor discovery. So if you want to add the command in there, that's fine. Just make sure you go in and do a IPv6 access list. Let's just do, you want to do this. Permit ICMP any, and you want to throw the neighbor solicitations in there. So you can permit those coming into yours, and then you can do the deny IPv6 any, and be able to see the logged packets at the very bottom and not forget that that one exists there. Same thing as before with IP version 4, you might forget or miss that in a large access list there was something that was matching earlier, so your commands at the bottom don't take effect, or you could have the port number in the wrong place. Again, source and destination port filtering works exactly the same. That's the logic of troubleshooting IPv6 access lists. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.